Hi guys, I was requested to do a video about my piercings. Someone commented on one of my makeup videos interested in my bridge piercing, which I also believe is called an oral piercing. I looked into it recently on the internet. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I just call it a bridge piercing. So I thought I'd just make a whole video about all my piercings and the pain levels and when I got them done and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Well, let me begin with I have 8 piercings altogether. I have 2 ear piercings. I don't really know if you call them piercings anymore because my lobes are stretched, but they used to be little piercings. I also have one here at the top that I did myself a few months ago with a proper piercing needle. I'm not an idiot. And yeah, I've just got a little earring in here. I have my bridge piercing, my septum piercing, 2 nostril piercings, my dog in the background, and my vertical labret. So let me just say that my first piercings were my ear piercings. I got them done when I was about 5 years old. I still lived in Poland, so I must have been about 4 or 5. And I went to some lady, and I think it was like a shopping mall or something. And I got my ears pierced with piercing guns, which obviously are really bad, and you should never use them. And they healed really horribly. They bled all the time. There was loads of pus coming out of them, which is totally disgusting. So I told my mum that I don't want them anymore, please take them out, and I just let them heal up. And when I was about 8 or 9, I went into class with my mum, and I saw some really cute turtle earrings, and I said, "Mum, I really want ear piercings again." So she took a sewing needle and she pushed the needles through my existing holes, which were kind of healed up on the inside, but they got through. It was fine, you know. And then I put earrings in and they healed fine. I did find it that I still had some weird lumps inside my ears. I don't know whether that was because I had my ears pierced with a gun, and the flesh just got kind of pushed rather than removed, which is what happens when you use a proper piercing needle, because the piercing needle is hollow on the inside, so it removes the flesh rather than pushing it to the side, which is why you shouldn't use piercing guns. But the fact that I had lumpy earlobes made it a little bit more difficult for me to actually stretch my ears, stretch my lobes, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'll move on to that in a minute. The second piercing I ever had done was this nostril piercing. I had my nostrils pierced when I was 14 years old, and I had that for about 6 months, and then my school noticed magically that I have a piercing in my nose, and they forced me to remove it unless I chose to move schools. And I was like, no, I'll just take it out. And I tried wearing a retainer in it, but it was far too small for the hole that I already had in my nose, and it just bled. And I was like, you know what, I'll just wait until I finish school, and then I can do whatever I want with my body. So when I was 16, I finished secondary school, or high school if you are in America. I'm 16 now, but last year in May time, I finally finished school and I went to the piercing place, salon, whatever, and I asked to get my vertical labret and my bridge piercing all in one go, and I sat down and I got them done. My bridge piercing bled really badly. It wasn't the most painful thing in the world, but it definitely wasn't comfortable and a bit shocking because I expected the needle to just kind of glide through, but it kind of went through in 3 horrible jolts, so I was like, ugh, that's gross. And there was a lot of blood. But my vertical labret was definitely the most painful piercing I ever had done. I'd say on the pain scale from 1 to 10, it was about a 4 or a 5. And usually I'm really good with pain, but this one was definitely the most painful piercing I had done. But it's healed fine. Around August time or September, I decided to get this piercing back, and because I already had a scar over where it used to be, I just bought some piercing needles off eBay, and I pushed a needle through and pierced my own nose in my bedroom in front of a mirror, which you shouldn't be doing, but I was really eager to get my piercings back, so I did that. And later on I bought a hoop, and I just put the hoop back in, and then I had my nostril pierced. And around October time, I really wanted a septum piercing. I wasn't sure if it would suit me, but I was like, I need to have a septum piercing right now. And I still had my piercing needles left, so I went along and pierced my septum. And I heard stories that septum piercings really hurt, but I must admit that my septum was probably the least painful place that I've had pierced ever. It was a bit shocking for me when I put the tip of the needle against my cartilage. I started crying, but it wasn't because of the pain. I don't really know. It was just like some nerves reacting or something. But actually pushing the needle through, it was fine. Like, it didn't hurt that much at all. I'd say the healing was a bit more annoying because I put a vertical labret bar in because I hadn't bought a septum bar yet, and it kind of hid inside, and it was really annoying to blow my nose and stuff, and I have hay fever all year round, so that was really inconvenient. But I really like the look of it, and it isn't infected or anything, which I'm really happy with. And I think most recently I had my nostril pierced. This one, it was about 3 weeks ago that I pierced it myself again, and it's a little bit asymmetrical, but I like the way it looks, and I just like symmetry. So I probably should talk about my plugs. I started stretching this ear about 1.5 years ago. It's currently at 24 millimeters. This one is at 16 because I started stretching this one about 1 year ago, so it's had less time to stretch. And I did experience blowout, and it was painful at times, and sometimes it just went through like butter, and there was no problem with it at all. But gradually, as you go up in sizes, you're supposed to wait at least 3 or 4 months between each stretching, and I didn't always do that, which is why it made it more difficult and more painful. But I just use cocoa butter cream on my earlobes because you're supposed to use some sort of lotion or oil or things like that, and I just use cocoa butter and it works fine. I must say piercings can be a bit annoying, and they're smelly. My earlobes definitely get smelly because they get sweaty and gross, and my septum piercing also gets smelly, and I don't really know how to get rid of that. But I love my piercings, and I don't want to get rid of them, at least not yet. I'm really happy with the way they look, and I definitely want more. I don't really know when I'm going to get more piercings, and I don't really know what piercings I want, but I just love the look of them and kind of like the process of it all, and I just love body modifications altogether. I think implants and split tongues and pointed ears and all that is just amazing, and I love it. And I don't judge anyone. The next piercing I'd like to get is getting my tongue pierced. I was thinking of getting my cheeks pierced, but I don't know when that would happen, and I'm not really sure if they would suit me or not. Also, I've heard that they heal kind of awkwardly sometimes. But yeah. I am considering getting some body piercings as well, but that will be at a much later date, probably when I turn 18 and I'm just allowed to do what I want because I live with my mum, and I of course have to think of what she says and not just what I want. But yeah, I'm really happy with what I have so far. I guess advice that I would give is make sure that you're old enough to get piercings in the first place. Don't go to some dodgy place to get them done, because it can get infected, and it's really a stupid idea to like go to some dodgy place and get your piercings done at like age 12 or something. Also think about what school says. I had to suffer through school and not being able to do what I want with my appearance, and it really sucked, but I had to get through it. And then once I turned 16 and I finished my GCSEs and all that, I chose to go to college instead of doing A-levels, because in college no one cares what you look like and you can just do whatever you want. And I'm way happier than I was in school, so doesn't bother me anymore. I guess the only time I have to worry about my appearance is probably in 3 or 4 years time, or it depends what choices I make in the near future, but probably just jobs. And you need to look at whether your employers are okay with piercings and body modifications and tattoos and all that, but hopefully in the upcoming years, society's views on body modifications and the alternative lifestyle and all that appearance and stuff will change, and tattoos and piercings and coloured hair will no longer be a problem in the working environment. At least I would hope so. But yeah, so this is my video about my piercings and my experience and all that. So I hope it's answered some questions, if anyone had questions or any curiosities or something. And I shall see you all in my next video. Bye!